This year, on All In.
Nope. Let's do this.
Didn't even make me win the competition outright. It actually just forced a tie.
To a sprint finish at the end, but Brent Fikowski is going to win.
It was like, all right, here we go.
I mean, if you thought 2019 was crazy.
Oh, this was my ultimate goal, yes. Now that I'm in All In.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have a lot of faith in the future of CrossFit as a brand.
I always thought, wow, there's a lot of white people.
How much time do we have for this question?
Like, I think, I don't want to say it. You know, like, it's like, I can't believe it's just.
So it's been a pretty wild week in the world of CrossFit, but now we're one day out from the Rogue Invitational.
Pat Vellner hits 350. That is a big lift for him.
So Strong song is definitely right.
Us Canadians, we have each other too.
Having athlete's voice heard.
Please be my friend. Please be my friend.
And that was canceled. That was canceled. That was canceled. That's been postponed.
It's like, make a great show, but like, just make it happen.
Start off with some very basic shapes.
Good job.
Here's Brent Fikowski, who's looking to get back to the podium after barely missing out on it last year. He finished second the year before that. High expectations for Pat Vellner. He finished second in last year's games. And Pat is someone who many people think could be the top challenger to Matt Fraser's throne. Pat Vellner self-destructs, and Brent Fikowski has fallen. He was just behind Fraser, but that's going to lead to a disappointing finish. And here's Pat Vellner. He needs a good score in the sprint event if he is going to survive the cuts. A penalty for stepping on the line. Really disappointing finish for the two Canadians who are now out of the games.
That's not how it goes.
Play it again. One more.
Hun, it's time to.
A setting sun is a smoking gun, is a four-letter word, I hope it hurts. Love is a fatal flaw, is a broken jaw, is a burning bridge, move your hips.
Brent! There's a weird guy here to see you.
Something dying here?
You hear about the cable?
No, I'm here to see you.
Smith! Is that you? Come here, you kind of little rascal.
You look like melted ice cream.
You look the same.
Something I gotta tell you about. It's about Vellner.
Ah, Velly! How was that little cheesy pop?
Not too good, man. He had an accident, and now you're the only one left.
The only one of what? Canadians used to be second fittest, and then got cut from the games. Just like that.
There's a lot of questions these days. It's uncertain times. The world needs someone who can figure it out. They need someone who can give them hope. They need a professor.
nobody calls me that anymore.
We might be able to fix this.
Is a setting sun, is a smoking gun, is a four-letter word, I hope it hurts. Love is a fatal flaw, is a broken jaw, is a burning bridge, move your hips.
Hello?
Hey, Brent.
Yeah, it's me, Pat. I heard you fell off a cliff. Everyone thinks you're dead.
Oh, yeah, no, that was my brother, John. Yeah, he was my stunt double.
Well, what happened to him?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's in the hospital, but he should be okay. Yeah, hey, look, have you heard about this virus?
Virus? No.
I guess it's pretty serious.
Oh, I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, I've been hearing that we might have to all stay inside.
Let's do this.
All right, I'm ready.
Are we doing this?
Look, buddy, I don't make the rules. I just do what I'm told.
Let's get started. So the first question is for Pat. How did your performance go at the Open?
Went really well, as good as you could hope for. I actually won the whole thing. I think I'm the first Canadian to win the Open. First non-American in like years.
So now we're on to...
Yeah, what do you need from me? Sorry.
What did you think of Pat's Open performance?
I mean, he won the Open,
I mean,
right?
he loved it. He was there with the Trash Talk group. I mean, he was there with me on 20.5.
Yes! Let's go! 10, come on, it's right there! It's right there, you over 2,000, let's go!
Helped coach me out a little bit so I could kick him around a little worse.
Good job.
Unnecessary.
It's $2,000 is probably what it is.
Yeah, he was there the whole time. He loved it. What are we doing this season? Right now we don't even know. It might be canceled. Are we doing this doc? Like, are we gonna be the comebacks team or? Hang on a second. I have another call coming in. I'm gonna take this. Hey, Scally. What's up, buddy? Yeah, of course I have time.
Hey, Pat, do you mind hitting the mute button? Do you mind muting that? Like, are we doing this? Like, 17th, 24th fittest man on earth? You know, is that good enough? Do you think, are you hedging your bets on us?
Yeah, we're hedging our bets on this one.
Hey, you know what you guys should actually do is talk to Emily Rolfe, get some women involved in this whole thing. I mean, I think she's the only one of us who won an event or did anything really noteworthy at the games last year anyway. So it might take a little pressure off of us.
Hey guys.
Yo, Emily, what's up?
Yeah, nothing much.
Do you guys still need me?
What's up?
Just woke up. How are you?
We're counting on you this year.
Pardon me?
I need a nap. Said we're counting on you this year.
Yeah. Just keeping the head down.
Yeah, I think after the games, I had to kind of really take a good long look at what the next year might look like and had to make the decision, like, do I still have this? You know, do I still have what it takes? Am I willing to put in this kind of work again and dedicate this much? And then maybe I get cut again in 2020. And then I just kind of distilled it down to like, well, you gonna quit? pretty much got back into training, and the Open was just around the corner, which is the first time it's been like that. Usually you kind of can have a bit of an off season, and then the Open is in, like February. But it started up really quickly, and I hit it pretty hard, and then the plan was just to tackle a few sanctionals right after that. Just try and find the events where there'd be the best competitors, most prize money, a couple cool locations, but really I didn't want to shy away from any challenges this year, and dive right in. And like I said, I wanted to see if I still had it, see if I could still hang with the best. So behind me is a shopping mall, and that is an indoor ski hill. Having fun? The Dubai CrossFit Championship is hosted by the Sheikh, and he's the son of the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates.
Really at the top of your game this season.
Yeah, man. Maybe just let Pat handle this one.
The Dubai CrossFit Championship is a pretty cool event. It's been a big event for a long time, and it attracts really good international competition. I think for us coming from North America, it's fun to compete against athletes we don't normally see. I thought I had a good chance of winning it. Looking at the events from previous years, you get a pretty good idea of the style of events they program, and a lot of it plays to a lot of my strengths. And so either way, it'd be a good way to go out there and win some money in Dubai and have a really cool competition experience.
And a couple new changes this year. We start with the men's division. Number one, Matt Fraser is not here, so that opens up the doors to a lot of athletes. Particularly, we're going to look at the podium from last year with Bjorkman, Carl Goodmanson, Willie George, but then you have Travis Mayer and Roman Karenikov.
Yeah.
Right?
Now we have a true battle in the men's field, so I really want to see what our three Canadians are going to do.
It's always nice when a competition starts with a swim, with my swimming background, growing up swimming. And yeah, we had this ocean swim right next to the most expensive hotel on the planet, which was pretty cool, and it was pissing rain, but we were swimming and throwing these sandbags over our shoulders, and I felt like I almost had a heart attack. I worked so hard on that event, I just felt like I was going to explode.
It was all about Brent Fikowski in heat number 2, one of those athletes we thought would do well coming into this event, but one of the athletes we thought we would do well overall based off how his training has changed since the games, how his Open went, and coming into Dubai for the first time.
Well, I think he's just a very fun athlete to watch because he's so technical in not just his abilities, but technical in his presentation of how he goes to attack every single one of the events. The strategies are, I don't want to say unique, but they're extremely particular. And because of that, we got to see that in this particular event, the way he was able to handle these. We know that he is good in swim events. We know that he is good in endurance type of events. We know that he is good in...
So it's going to be close between Fikowski and the time cap. He should hang on against Lazar for the overall lead in this heat. As feet are on the ground for Fikowski, the clock will stop when he gets to his mat, and Fikowski will take heat number 2 in unofficial time.
It was you still got this. This is a great feeling. And from there, it just kind of kept building. And then we went to the Sheikh's private running facility, training center out in the middle of the desert, and did this crazy event where you run around a track and you're on the stationary bike, and kind of same thing. It was brutally painful.
We're scanning the field, so they'll move from a 1,000-meter bike to a 1,200-meter run. We basically have 3 couplets together in this between the biker and the track.
And but again, I came away with a lot of points in that event, and had sort of put myself in a really good position to start the weekend.
The competition starts with a lot of outdoor events and more kind of aerobic, long time domain stuff. So I started with a little bit of a hole after a few of those events, and Brent got a really strong footing right off the hop. And then you come back to this tennis stadium environment, and we do a little bit more of the classic CrossFit style of workouts, where I hit a couple home runs in that stadium, and it was cool. I was a bit back and forth with Brent for event finishes and event wins in the last couple of days of the competition, and it came down to be pretty tight. But the last couple of days, I was right in the lane next to him. It was a lot of fun. I can talk about him almost getting flattened if you want that.
Yeah.
They always have some really cool marquee events at Dubai, and this year one of the big ones was the one at Max Clean and Jerk. It's a really sweet, under the lights environment, and it's always super exciting and electric in those kind of events. And I remember Brent was kind of the athlete lifting next to me.
And Fikowski.
Now again, we talk about him being the professor, quote unquote, with all of his pacing and strategies. The other thing that someone like that is going to do is they're so meticulous about their technique, and that was it right there.
The athlete next to him missed a lift and nearly flattened Brent with his barbell trying to chase the rep down.
So I was really trying to focus on just my barbell and not worry about if someone else made a lift or missed a lift and get wrapped up in their emotions, which, you know, sounds smart until you're not paying attention to the guy that's next to you that almost kills you when he fails a lift and he drops the barbell like almost on my back. And I just jump away all casually like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal, when it was actually kind of a big deal.
I'm really glad he didn't kill Brent Fikowski.
I'm kind of glad he didn't kill Brent too.
I'm sure that guy.
I'm sure Brent is a little happy about that as well.
I mean, going into the weekend, I figure I had as good a shot as anybody to win that competition overall. It's a long event, a lot of events, and typically for me, by the end of a more grueling competition, I'm able to, if I've made mistakes, rectify them and claw my way back.
Roman Karenikov with a 5-point lead on Brent Fikowski, and Pat Vellner is in fourth, but he is just 3 points behind Jason Smith. And Roman Karenikov, who's sitting in first ahead of Brent Fikowski. Now, what's good for Fikowski is that if this stays the order at which it is currently, that will move him solely into first place, just being 5 points behind.
Yep. And as the weekend wears along, other people lose interest or just physically get worn out, and Pat's just super durable, physically and mentally, to just keep chipping away and giving his best. And at the end of the weekend, he's able to rack up a lot of points.
Vellner has just under 20 seconds remaining to try to beat Koski's time of 7:32. Vellner will get 10 meters. Now he needs to sprint across the floor.
Saturday, they announced this chipper, which had like some rowing and some lunges and some rope climbs, and I was really, really excited for that. But also beside me was Roman Karenikov, who was having a really good weekend.
Fikowski just blew the doors off those 10 rope climbs. Now Roman is just behind him.
And super fit dude, and we were like back and forth the whole time. It was super electric, but you know what happens with me and chippers, right?
But he is the second man to do not only the 50s, but beat the time cap in event 3. Fikowski. My goodness. Will step on the finish man and have a new event record. CrossFit Games, and Brent Fikowski can add another event record with a casual wave to the crowd. The professor wins event 3. Wow.
Ranking the event by over a minute and taking event number 5 here.
Roman Karenikov, 10 points on Fikowski. That's just 2 places when we're talking about the point system we're using. Patrick Vellner, just 7 points behind that. There's a lot that can happen to set things up and to change things up coming after this event. Third and final heat, final action for individual men for day number 3 as the 2019 Dubai CrossFit Championship is getting closer and closer and tighter at the top of the leaderboard. They'll start.
Ultimate strategist in this game, and Brent Fikowski. I think this is going to be a battle.
Fikowski with the step through. He's not even pausing in the middle. Look at the difference between him and Karenikov behind Fikowski. And Fikowski making a late charge. The time to beat was 12:34. Karenikov, 2 reps. Smith, 2 reps. Fikowski, 1 more. So the race for first is locked up. But the battle for second is going to come to a sprint finish at the end. But Brent Fikowski is going to win event number 7. And the professor wins another long chipper event.
And it was, it was one of the most incredible moments I've had competing. It was pretty special.
Brent, I think, had an absolutely lights out competition. I don't think there's many people on the planet who'd be able to beat him at that competition this year. So as much as I would have loved to have won that, I think you have to be happy in second given the circumstances. And it's always nice to share a podium with Brent. I lost that opportunity in 2017 at the CrossFit Games. So we actually chatted about it afterwards. That's the first time we'd actually stood on a podium together in our careers, which was cool.
After not a great CrossFit Games, to go to Dubai and compete against some of the best in the world and have a really solid performance, see some improvements in areas I've been lacking in, and then to dominate some other workouts that I know are my strengths was a really good sign. And made me really excited for the rest of the year. Like that was immediately what it did. As much as it was satisfying to like punch that games ticket, it was like, all right, here we go. Like now we're just getting started.
On the next episode of All In.
Hi, my name's Emily. I am proudly Canadian. Had a little party here. Still on the up trajectory, so it's exciting.
Have a really nice front row seat to watch Vellner and to watch Emily Rolfe.
It's bad. It's really bad.
CrossFit is at a crossroads.
Do you mind muting that? It's like the bottom.
Where is that?
So like there's the video camera thing, and then there's the mic. And I think you click the mic. Are you on a Mac?
No, I'm on a PC.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Well, so now it's just, yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Hey, what about now?
Well, yeah, so now it's just a close-up look of your face. It's like I'm Skyping my grandma here.